a level 5 War Wizard, DnD5e rule set, and he's going to be a Minotaur, so we'll see how that goes. I have a source book that has the Minotaur in it, and if you're curious of what that is, it's called Southland Heroes. It's put out by Kobold Press. So the Minotaur race is in that particular supplement. So we'll get to that soon. Let's see. Right now, I'm going to actually spend a little time and work on the token. So hopefully you guys won't mind that. I'm going to take my time and have fun with this. And I'm not going to stress and worry about it too much. But definitely want to make a token. And I already kind of have a photo picked out here. So I'm going to take this and edit it in a program called GIMP, which is kind of like Photoshop, except for it's free. So we'll see. And you'll notice, a lot of different builds that I've been working on. I'm trying to make them not super, like, traditional. But I'm also, I'm not trying to be super professional or anything either. I just want to have fun. So right now, this is it's a JPEG file. So I want to turn this into a PNG file. That way it's easier to edit. And I don't have to worry too much about the background. That way I can get a good token out of it and some photo. So what I'm going to do first is this image, I'm going to put a transparency layer on it. So I'll do that first. Once I do that, I'm in the, I guess you call it the fuzzy select tool or magic wand, whatever you want to call it. And I have the threshold up to about 15. So if I hit delete now, it should get rid of a majority of the white background. Yeah, so that's what I was looking for. So I'm going to get rid of some of this white. I think that's pretty good. So now that I've basically got rid of most of that, I'm going to make my own little tokens and such out of this. So this is going to be a Minotaur War Wizard. I think this photo is pretty appropriate. It looks like a War Wizard. All right, so that looks pretty decent. So now I guess I'm going to go ahead and export it. So I'm going to export as, I'm going to call it Battle Mage Minotaur. Actually, it's War Wizard. .png, and I want to make the file type the same, so PNG. And it's going to save to my desktop under character art. So that's fine. And I don't want to have the background color or anything. I'm just going to hit export. That should do it. And I'm going to get out of this program. Discard changes. I'm not trying to do a big project or anything. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up in another program. So here's the War Wizard. I'm going to edit a little bit. So right now, I don't need all that extra space, so I'm going to kind of delete a little bit of that extra room I made. So it's like dead space. You need to leave a little bit of a border, but you don't need a ton. You just need like, you know, a few pixels. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to kind of sharpen it up a little bit. So I'm going to hit edit and adjustments. I'm going to lighten it up a touch, not a lot. See, that's too much. So probably just a few smidges there so you can see a little bit more of the detail. And then I'm going to bump up the clarity some so you can really see those details. It doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit goes a long ways. And then I'm going to save it. Now I have this wizard with like magic swirling around it, and it's going to be a war wizard, so this will be perfect. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and exit this program, and I'm going to bring up a token tool program that you can use to help build tokens, or you can use Roll Advantage Token Stamp, which makes it a little easier. But I'm going to go ahead and use a token tool today. Actually, I think Roll Advantage might actually work better. We'll find out. So while that's loading, yeah, I might just use this. It's much quicker and easier for one. However, I can make a way cooler background on the other one. We'll see. So this is kind of what I was working with earlier. I was putting this on a base. So I think I'm going to, let's see, portrait layer. Change portrait image. Okay, that's that. And now the background. I don't think I need a background just yet. Overlay. And I want a round one, I think. Maybe those. I actually have custom. So here I have a bunch of these custom tokens. So let's see. Portrait options. Glow. Ooh, that's pretty bright. You can make them opaque. Yeah. I'm not necessarily going to use that background, but that would be awesome. So let me try the background layer. Nothing. Wish you could do the overlay layer. You take a look at the custom ones again. That's pretty dope. It's kind of cool. Yeah, this isn't exactly what I want to do, so I'm going to go ahead and use roll advantage token stamp. It's a little bit easier. You can make a lot more fancier stuff. Let me see if I can... Yeah, see? Now we're talking. So technically... Yeah. We'll see about that. Alright, so that's that. Now I want to take a look at... Yeah, let's do some blurring. That looks pretty good, actually. Let me play around with these background images, the overlays. So there's that one. Looking for one that's a little bit more on the mage side, although that's pretty damn close. You know, I think I'm going to leave that as it is. I mean, I can use this ring of fire. It was pretty basic. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. So 256 by 256. So that's not too bad for a token size, but in Fantasy Grounds, you don't want it that big. So I think 200 or 150 is about the number you want to go for your portrait. But if it's a token, which is what we're making, I think 150 is a good choice because this particular creature is a large, fairly large creature. So 200 should do it. And to scale his, you know, his helmet, and to have it recentered. I think it'll look pretty good. Well, let's see what it looks like when we export it. So, File, Save As, and I'll just probably just save it up on the desktop. That doesn't work. I can just use the token stamp. So let's see what it looked like. Yeah, I like that photo. That's pretty badass. Okay. So now, yeah, see, I don't know why it keeps this crap on the outside, but that would be a pretty cool token. You know, if you had this size correctly, let me try the roll advantage one. So with that website, the roll advantage token stamp, I can drag in a photo. So I'm going to drag in the original. The War Wizard. Yeah, I'm not digging that. So let me do this. So the way this is set up is I can scale this to the window here. And that's why I made it a PNG, because if you have a JPEG, it will distort the photo more. So I kind of want to have the ability to scale it a little bit better. So it's fairly well centered. I'm going to make it a circular. So I'm going to go with a thin circle, and that cuts out the outside. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, you know, you can tint the thing if you want. Don't need that though. And then the border itself, I kind of like where it is. It's kind of blends in with the token, but it needs to be a little bit brighter so that it stands out on map. The background color, I kind of like it, but I'm going to need something that kind of stands out. So there we go. So that you can kind of see the difference. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download. Now here's the token itself. It's not too bad. I'm going to edit it again. I'm just going to put a couple touches on it, like I'm going to bring up the color ratio, and I'm going to lighten it just a hair so you can see the details. And then save. Now I'm going to right click on it and resize it. So I'm going to do a custom define dimension. 256 by 256 is pretty big. So I'm going to go 128 by 128. That's a pretty good size for a small to medium. Or you can go with 256. Yeah, 256 will probably be about right. So I think he's a large creature, so we'll find out. But now I'm going to put it on my desktop again. And there we go. So that's his token, basically. And then to make his portrait, I'm going to use the same image, but in a different program. So I'm going to find the original or the PNG file. Okay, I'm going to open this up in So I'm going to open up this paint shop and just chop it down to where it's just a square token. And I'm going to make this a JPEG file. So I'm going to go ahead and crop it and set my cropping tool to square. You want to get it as square as possible. So that's that. Now I'm going to save as. All right, so this is going to be his little portrait photo. And now I'm going to adjust the size a little bit. So right now it's 252. So I want this to be like 125 or something like that. 125 by 125. And that's the size your portrait photo should be. You don't want a huge photo for one little itty bitty area. So I went ahead and closed that. So now back into Fantasy Grounds, I'm going to open up 2 spots and put my new artwork in it. So within Fantasy Ground, you have your tokens folder. So I'm going to open that up. And I have a folder called PC token. And these are other ones that I've made in the past. So I'm going to click on shared, I believe. And there's the PC token. So there's only a handful. They're not very big. But, the file size isn't huge or anything. So I am going to look for the new token I made. Okay. Here it goes. So that's going to be the token. And now for the profile picture, when you start with the character sheet, you'll have this profile photo up here. And I'm going to go to folder. And this is a collected list here of tokens and such are portrait photos that I've made. So here I've added his portrait photo. So what that does is here now I can go into my collected folder and I can select this file. This is my, my Minotaur portrait picture. And then for tokens, I can take this PC token and drag this over. So now he has a token and a portrait. So they are different. Portraits are a little bit lower resolution. And then I put them on the combat tracker. That's what I get. This is pretty cool. All right, so I thought about making his name Boron or something like that, or Boron. Or Goran, that's what it was. Goran Gorani. Now he's just a war mage, or a war wizard. I'm going to start with his stats. Now these guys, they get a 2 strength and a 1 con. So I'm not really going to worry about those too much. Being that he's a wizard, I'm going to give him a 15. I'm going to give him like a 13 maybe, or a 14 on strength. Dex, I think, see, I got 15, 14, 13. And then I have a 12. A 10, and an 8. So he's going to have an 8 wisdom, so he's not very wise. But the rest of him seems pretty good. All right, so that's that. And then for his background, let's see. Temple slave, that's kind of cool. He's going to be an outlander. So he gets a musical instrument, he gets a language, and he also gets survival and athletics. So that's pretty cool. So right off the bat, he has athletics and survival. So that's good. Let me think of what else. What else does he need? So definitely going to drag the Minotaur race over. So let me do that. So that's the next step, is to do the race. And add his size. So let me see what that is. Yeah, he's still considered medium. It added the natural attack, which is the horns. Labyrinth Sense allows them to move around and not lose their sense of direction. And he gets +1 to Constitution and +1 to Strength, or +2 to Strength, +1 to Con. It's not bad. So he's pretty well rounded. He's got a good intelligence for spell casting. So he's pretty much good to go there. So now I need to pick his class. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, grab... let's see. Yeah, War Wizard for sure. So here's Wizard. And you get this pop-up. Well, let me take a look. So I'm definitely going to take Arcana. And probably History. That makes sense for him. So that was level 1. Now I'm going to level him up to level 2. And now at level 2, I get to pick what school or what, what's a specialization. It's going to be War Magic. And I'm going to hit this check button to say okay. Now I'm going to level up to level 3. And you get some more stuff. Yeah, so he's starting to get more abilities as I level him up. Level 4. So at this level, he gets ability score increase. So what I'm going to do is definitely give him +1 on Con. And probably 1 on Dex, maybe? Or Intelligence. Intelligence. So Con and Intelligence is what I put on him. And then I'm going to level him up one more time. And now he's level 5. So he's doing pretty good. So now let's take a look at his ability. Con and Intelligence. So put a little note there so we know what we picked. Arcane Deflection. That's something we're going to look at later. Arcane Recovery. Yep. Arcane Tradition is the schools of magic and such. We've already done that. Tactical Wit. You can give yourself a bonus to your initiative rolls equal to your intelligence modifier. Nice. So his intelligence modifier is 3. So he'll get a +3 on... Whoa, that's cool. +3 on initiative. That's like an ongoing thing. With the wandering trait, he's more worldly, but people kind of give him the look. But you have a really good memory for settlements and terrain, different places you've been, so on and so forth. That's kind of cool. And War Magic is a bunch of evocation and abjuration spells. And then you get certain features with that. All right, so that is that. Okay, already got that dealt with. Oh, there's his charge ability. Labyrinth Sense. Yep. This is racial. And natural attacks. Alright. It says Minotaur and one of your choice. Okay. So he knows Draconic, Minotaur, and Common. And those are his special features and such. Inventory. So I'm going to go to the parcels, and I'm going to give him the Outlander package. And what's the next thing? Wizard. All right, all right. So that's that. I am going to give him a racial trait for that axe, because I don't know. Yeah, so that's a battle axe. So he can use one instrument. You can use daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaff, light crossbows. And a battle axe. That way, he's not going to get penalized. All right. Well, that's that. Pouch, quarterstaff, staff. Yeah. Hunting trophy. I don't see him carrying that around. Component pouch, yes. Backpack, there's a bag of sand and a book. Well, and he has a spell book. So his book is going to be the one he's copying new spells into. Then when he gets to a place, he puts it in his main spell book. So he's got some writing utensils. I don't see him having the hunting trap either. So that would be most of his gear. He has a quarterstaff. I'm going to take that away. And he doesn't need a staff, which is like basically a walking stick. So that'll lighten his load up some. Let's see. I'm actually going to give him the battle axe because he is a war wizard, and that is his only militant weapon that he can use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but it's going to be magical. It's not just going to be a plain old weapon. So I'm going to go to items. So here's the battle axe. All right. So I'm going to make an additional battle axe. I'm going to make a copy of this one. And I'm going to edit the properties. So if it's not identified, it'll just say fancy battle axe. Martial weapon, weapons. Rarity would be rare. Anytime you change that to rare. It's worth 1,500 gold at least. You get a +1 on damage. And to hit. Properties, versatile. damage. 1d4 fire. And this is going to be the blazing battle axe. So blazing battle axe +1, martial weapon rare. I'm gonna make it weigh a little less, or actually a little more. So it weighs 5 pounds instead of just 4. And it does an additional 1d4 fire damage. So special racial battle axe of the Minotaur race. Just so there's a note. Pretty cool. All right. So I'm going to lock it. And now I'm going to drag it over onto a sheet. And it does add it. Let's see what it looks like back here. There's the blazing battle axe. Yep, it's perfect. So 1 damage, or 1 to attack, 1 damage, and then the additional fire. So that's awesome. This is also magic. So I need to make sure magic is here. And I should put that in here under properties. And being that it's versatile, you can use it 1- or 2-handed. So what I'm going to have to do is make another instance of this. So this is the 1-handed use. So by clicking edit and adding this another weapon, I'm just creating a new blank line. And then I'm going to bring the original up. I'm going to copy all this stuff over. Now I'm going to clear this dice because it's a D10 for the next damage level up. Oops. Okay. Fine. There we go. So this is the 2-handed variation. So this tells Fantasy Grounds, or well, at least when you attack with it, you'll have 2 different variations. A 1d8 +4 and a 1d8 +3. Oh, I didn't copy over the bonuses. There we go. So that should be it. Yep. So there's the magic weapon in case. So this weapon that he has is basically this flaming axe. So I'm just going to call it the blazing battle axe. And that's what he has. He has a dagger, which should be fairly simple. Let's see what else he has on him. Yeah, he's got a dagger here. Or maybe these are wands. and then he has like a knife or something over here, so that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna get him a dagger, something he can throw. So let me check that out. Yep, just regular old dagger. I'm gonna give him 2 of them. And can't really wear armor, so not too worried though. So he'll probably have like mage armor or something like that. Yeah, he's a 5th level Minotaur warcaster or like a war wizard. So he just has that +1 blazing battle axe, a couple daggers that he can throw. His stats are pretty decent: 16 for strength, 13 dex, 12 con, a 16 intelligence, an 8 wisdom, and a 12 charisma. So he's not too bad in stats. I gotta think if he needs anything else. You know what? His armor class is super low. I think I'm gonna get him like a ring of protection or something like that. Nah, that's a little much. Let me look at the cloaks. Yeah, I think he's just gonna have to deal with it. I don't think they can wear heavy armor, so he's just gonna have to rely on his magic to protect himself. So that's that. Yep. So blazing battle axe, spell book. Yeah, he might need a water skin. So he's got 5 days worth of food and a water skin. So a candle. So we got water skin, some food, and some candles. That should be good. And 1 potion of healing. Yeah, Minotaurs are pretty cool. I don't know if you were here, but I made the token for it out of that photograph. I used this as the photo, and for Fantasy Ground, I used this little guy here, and this is his token. So it's pretty cool. All right, so now notes. I'm gonna make him neutral evil. Lawful evil. So he's 5 foot or 6'4", 212 pounds. It's pretty heavy. And he's got this Outlander thing going on. His origin. Homesteader. I don't think so. I think he was a tribal marauder at one point. An exile or outcast. There we go. So I will put that on his notes. So he was exiled. What is the pixel size of the token? So the token is 200 by 200. And I did that just so it'd be so pixely, but it would actually be 100 by 100 for that size of a creature. The little thing is 100 by 100, the portrait. And the token is a PNG file, the portrait is a JPEG. So there's a difference on how you set those. But anyhow, he was kicked out wherever he was from. So now I get to pick his personality traits. I'm driven by a wanderlust that led me away from home, maybe. I watch my friends. I once ran there. I have a lesson for every situation drawn. I place no stock in wealthy women or folk. I think the first one. That's what he tells people, but he's actually kicked out. His ideal. Might. The strongest are meant to rule. That's definitely him. That's his ideal. Bond. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me. I will bring terrible wrath down on evildoers who destroy my homeland. I'm the last of my tribe. It's up to me to ensure that might be it. I suffer awful visions of a coming disaster. Yeah, that's even cooler. So this guy has nightly nightmares that drives him insane. That's kind of why he's evil. And he thinks he's doing everything he can to prevent it. So he's freaking crazy. The end of the world's coming. I'm too enamored of ale and wine. There's no room for caution. I remember every insult I've received and nurse a silent resentment. Maybe. I'm slow to trust other members. Violence is my answer to almost any challenge. There we go. That's him, man. He's definitely one of those guys. Let's see, here's his log sheet. And here is his weapons. So he gets some spells and those sort of things. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to see if this will go into his inventory first. Because he has horns, so he can actually hit people with them. So in his inventory, yeah. So I'm going to have to add that as a trait. No big deal. So I'm going to click the edit button and add a group. We're going to call this racial abilities. So the first thing is the natural attack. So this is the horns. So let me see something here. I'm going to have to, it says he's proficient too. So what I'm going to have to do is add some things to this. So I'm going to add action. I'm going to add cast. Now this is the attack roll. So it's an attack. Melee attack. Bonus of strength bonus is 3. So he has that, plus he has a 3 for proficiency. So, strength, proficiency, and bonus. So his bonus, you see, it adds his proficiency, it adds in his strength ability. So that should be good. So that should, calculate in the correct thing. Okay, so that's just the attack roll, or the attack ability. I was going to make it a weapon, but it doesn't quite fit. So yeah, he's +6 to hit with those horns. Now, I'm going to add the damage. Add action. Oops. Add damage. So, it's a 1d6. It is piercing. Based on strength. And he's supposed to get his... Oh, he's already got that from his attack. Okay, so he gets +3 damage from his from the horn itself. Does that calculate also? Yeah, so he gets 2 there, or 3. So 1d6 +6 piercing. That's awesome. So that is his horns. So that takes care of that. He has something called Labyrinth Sense. I'm going to go ahead and kind of hold on to that for a moment. Charge. So if you get at least 10 feet forward a target and hit with the horn attack in the same turn, you deal an extra 1d6 piercing damage. Wow. So what I'm going to do is just add, well, I'm going to make it separate because it's a separate thing. Yeah, that is what my Barbarian Minotaur has. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the first one is that first token thing. That's 100 by 100 JPEG. That's why it's so small. Okay, so I'm going to add the charge. Oops. So I'm going to put 10 feet there as a reminder. And you can shove the target as a bonus action. You deal an extra d6 and you can shove. So what I'm going to do is add that also. It says when you charge, you can push it 5 feet instead of 5. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your Constitution score modifier. And you regain all uses when you finish a long rest. So, to set up the number of times, you can charge attack 3 times daily. And I'm going to set up the extra damage, which is a 1d6. And then there is an effect which will shove. So wait, at 11th level, okay, so I don't get the shove till 11th level. So all I get is the bonus action. Oh yeah, and you can shove the target as a bonus action. Okay, so in order to, I'm gonna just put B here. So that the player or whoever plays this creature will know that you get a bonus shove attack with it. So that's that. Tactical will. Oh yeah. So this is how I'm going to do this. So tactical will I'm going to drag this down here, drag it up here, and it's already got the description, so I'm going to put that in the same area. And what this does is it gives you a plus whatever initiative from your intelligence modifier. So I'm going to go ahead and add an action. This is an effect. It's self. Okay, yep. So this is, continuous. So his initiative is going to be +3. So INIT:3. So that'll add an additional 3 to his initiative roll. So when you go to use this character, let's see if it works. There's that. Let me roll his initiative. So there's 4. So he got, yeah, it worked. So he got +3 as initiative effects. Yep. And he got +1 from his dex. So that makes sense. All right. So that's how I made sure. Arcane deflection. Okay. So we're done with the racial stuff. Now I'm going to do the class features. Arcane deflection and arcane recovery. Okay. So these are going to be in the spells area where Rob 2e coding effects are stored. Here's the class features. Wizard. Okay, so arcane recovery. Where's the deflection part, or can that be coded? Let's take a look. Okay, this you can use. Finish a short rest, so let me fix that. So that's, actually that should be daily, because you get it once, but you have to use it on a short rest. So that makes sense. Arcane deflection. When you use this feature, you can't cast spells other than cantrips until the end of your next turn. Okay, so let me add that. Okay. It says when you can't cast spells. Okay. When you are hit by an attack or you fail the saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain +2 bonus on your AC against that attack, or a +3 bonus to that saving throw, +4 bonus. Okay, so that's kind of situational. That's why it can't be automated. So what I can do is code this for 2 effects. Okay, the first effect is going to be AC. And itself. And on your next roll or on next action. Arcane Deflection. And we're looking at AC +2. So that takes care of that half. And then the other is or a +4 on us on that saving throw. Okay. So we're gonna do here is something similar. So I think that's right. Save +2. Let me double check. So I'm trying to make sure. Okay, I need the colon. I got that. And it's a 4. So if I apply that, you'll get +4 saves. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think I got it right. So save. Oh, it's save, not SAV. There we go. All right. So that's that. So now I have the effects coding. I just made those myself. And then the class features. Yep. Okay. Arcane Deflection. Yeah, it's there. Okay. 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 So we need some spell slots. Spells. Okay. So I guess the next thing I need to do is standard actions. That's pretty simple. I have to unfilter it. Dodge, help, hide, and ready. See if I put that on self over here too. No, I didn't. There we go. Okay, that's that. And now for spells. So here's the spells. Level 0. Wizard. Okay. Now... So based on his level. Four cantrips. I gotta think about those. Alright, so he's a war wizard. So he needs Firebolt. Mage Hand. Thunderclap. And I think Shocking Grass would be cool. So there's a spells for cantrip. Okay. And let's go to first level. Gets at least 4. Probably gets up to 6. But I'm going to give him Grease. I always love that spell. That slows down the enemy. Expeditious Retreat. Mage Armor. Magic Missile. Yep. And one more. Shield. War Wizard has to have shield. Okay. So now second level, he gets 4 of those. Cloud of Daggers. Flaming Sphere. Misty Step. And Suggestion, maybe. Yeah, Suggestion. Actually, Web. Now third level. two 3rd levels. So definitely Fireball. And Dispel Magic or Counter Spell. Flame Arrows, Mirror Image. Phantom Steed would be kind of cool. Stinking Cloud. There we go. So, that pretty much takes care of this character. Okay. So this is definitely a pretty cool guy. So I'm going to change to prep mode. Preparation. Weird. I'm going to close it for a minute. What's strange is not letting me prepare any spells, which is really strange. Yeah, it's acting goofy. So anyhow, this is basically how the West was won with this wizard. So if I go to preparation or combat mode, actions, as long as I can see my spell, that's all I care about. And there's a spell slot. So we're good to go. So that should be it. This is our 5th level War Wizard Minotaur level 5 DnD5e character. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If not, I'll go ahead and set this up to be archived on YouTube. So take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, everyone.